Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Cause I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm not gonna get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got your underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a
Hey
validation.
family, how y'all doing tonight? I hope everyone is doing great. Happy Thursday to you all. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, and welcome in once again. Happy Friday, Junior. It's good to see everyone. I'm going to try to keep myself together today. I'll do my very best. My very best. So, welcome in, everyone. Happy Thursday. I am your girl, Lady Dawn B, the host of Thursday nights here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, where we like to bring you live conversation, lively conversation. On Thursday night, we have bold conversation so that we can have better relationships. And so we welcome you into this space once more again. Can you believe it is March? I am so confused as to dates and times and all of that. Excuse me, but it's okay. We'll get it together after a while. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna get it together. But happy March. This is Women's History Month. So to all my sisters, ladies, mothers, aunts, friends, all the females across the land, happy Women's History Month to you. And I hope that you are doing something that is changing the trajectory of not just your life, but the life of another woman, those who have gone before you, those who are coming after you, and those who are walking in stride with us. We are here to make her story. We're grateful for those women who have gone before us and have opened many doors for us to do the things that we do. However, now it is our turn to make history. So I hope and pray that you are doing just that. Could be in the smallest of ways, but we all make a difference, right? Awesomeness. So I appreciate you being here tonight. If you would, please, ma'am, please, sir, just hit that thumbs up button as you're coming on in the room and then hop on into the chat and say hello so that we can greet you properly. Okay, we want to acknowledge you. We thank everyone for always spending this time with us on Thursday nights, and we look forward to spending it with you. Tonight is going to be another great conversation. Just want to put some food for thought out there for us to consider. As you know, women, we have endured much, and it doesn't take away from the men. But tonight, we're talking about the ladies, right? So, ladies, we have gone through much, we've endured much, we have survived much, and now it is time for us to live and thrive, right? So that means we also have to make some changes and make some adjustments and all of those wonderful things. So, I want to welcome you into again this conversation that we're having tonight. Hopefully, the team will be in shortly, but until then, you stuck with me. And hopefully, my internet will act right tonight. Who knows? but we are here nonetheless. So, as always, here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, we are open to everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. And whatever your moral compass is, we invite you to share and engage in healthy conversation. Our number one and pretty much only rule that we have and requirement is that we do so respectfully. We don't have to agree, but we do have to respect one another. We are here to grow and to learn, to have healthy dialogue and conversation. Maybe something can be said or will be said that will help to open up a different perspective, cause us to look at something from a different point of view, or even bring understanding, because we are here to listen, to understand, and not necessarily to always respond. We don't want to debate or argue. We want to have conversation, right? So that way we can grow. So we appreciate your presence here as well. We also make note that if disrespect is found anywhere, whether it be in the comment section or on the panel, we will have to remove you from this space, as we do protect the integrity of our channel. And we want everyone to have a good time and great conversation on tonight. So, with that being said, I think that feels like it's all of my church announcements for the night. But I want to pay homage and salute to the curator of this amazing space, the Bravo with Sheila Network. She is in the person of my auntie Bravo, Pastor Sheila Ingram herself. We give her a big old bravo and say thank you for yielding this captain's chair to us once more on this week, so that we could spend some time with you. And secondly, I would be remiss if I didn't even honor my own mama. Y'all know her, you love her, and if you don't, you will. She is in the person of Pastor Rosa, aka Mama Rosa. She says, good evening, everyone on the panel and the viewers. I'm looking forward to what's about to happen. Oh, Lord. Well, I don't even know what's about to happen, Mommy, so I'm glad you're looking forward to it. But I salute my mom. If it wasn't for her, I would not be who I am. So y'all can blame her for whatever about me you don't like. If anything, I'm just playing my medicine. She did a wonderful job. I'm her four of four. I'm her last child, and she is an amazing woman. One who I would have to say is extremely awesome, because she grew up without her mother. Her mother passed away, and yet she has become a mother to so many. If you meet Mama, trust me, you leave with a mama. You're no longer a stranger, visitor, or friend. You're a child of hers now. She takes people. So let's see who else we have. Of course, salute to our amazing moderator, Ine Kenya. She is the greatest to ever do it in these YouTube streets. And we appreciate her being here on tonight, always in place, always on point. And she will, as well as she greets you, she will escort you out if she has to. So thankfully, she hasn't had to use that exit button. So we want to keep that momentum going and just let her know we appreciate it. She says, hey, Bravo with Sheila Network. She says, hey, Dawn B. Hey, beautiful. I appreciate you. Up and look who we got in the comment section. You know him, you love him, you appreciate him. He is Mr. Well, his names have changed. I've given him so many because he just keeps becoming greater and greater. So I have to keep adding on names for him. But he is one of our squad members. He holds it down in the men's lounge quite often. I love it. And he comes with all the smoke. And I'm here for it. And it's iron sharpening iron, it's iron sharpening. He is in the person of Coach, Mr. Courageous Vulnerability himself, Arthur Justin Wilson, also the AKA AJW, the poet. He does everything. He does all things. He says, "Cello family." He's he's letting the name know ahead of time. I'm gonna be messy. Please don't kick me. It's all right, Justin. You can be messy if you want to. It's okay. You allow. And a matter of fact, you know what? If you want to come up now, you can. If you have time, if you want to, you don't have to wait till the hour. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, he calls me Reverend Coach because to those of you y'all know, maybe you don't know, I don't know, but I have recently crossed on over finally officially to the arena of certified life coach. And so we have got our master certification in life coaching. And my specialty is in encouragement and grief, so to speak, because we're all grieving something. You know, the loss of a person, place, or a thing is at the root of a lot of the things that we do. And so in the in this coaching arena, you know, and y'all know you already know I'm a God's girl. You already know you'll get some Jesus when you get me because I'm a God's girl. So, you know, but Justin has dubbed me Reverend Coach because you're gonna get a word and some healing. You're gonna get both at the same time. I do the natural and the spiritual. That's what it is. It's one stop shop over here. Okay. Oh, okay. Justin, you say, I think you say, I'm not sure. And they said, Justin, tighten up, buddy. She's already cracking the whip. So I don't know. I love it. He said, yes, man, I'll behave until I get on the panel. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, once you get up, yeah, you know, it's on and popping at that point. But yeah, so this is gonna be an interesting conversation tonight. And again, Justin, whenever you're ready, you can actually come up whenever you want. You don't even have to wait. So, guys, listen, on tonight, on this very mic, you're about to hear, I declare, one of the best podcasts of the year. So cheerio, yell, scream, what? Bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is Thursday night with Dawn B and the Squad Show. Yeah. You know, I don't want y'all to feel neglected, you know, that I didn't give you what you was looking for because Coach Theo is not here yet. I know that's her favorite part. I will probably do it again for her when she does come. Oh, and also welcome in. Look, it is the juggling mommy. She says, hi, everyone. Hey, sis, how are you? Hope to see you on this side when you have a moment. You know, it's good to see you. I'm just glad you're here. I'm just glad that you are here. Yeah. So anyway, guys, tonight's conversation, as we've been talking this month about Women's History Month, you know, I love that. All right. She said, I will be up there soon because listen, when juggling starts talking, y'all, she gonna give it to you straight. No chaser. Don't play. All right. Put your feelings in your pocket because she's gonna tell us you straight. And we need that. And we do need that, you know. I love it. I love it. We are not one voice, one sound. While we are here, everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions are welcome and received. You know, so I love that we all come from different perspectives and points because we do need that in order to grow. If we are in a group of people who we just all agree about every little thing, you know, where's the growth? Where's the experience? Where do we get to learn something new? So I'm grateful for all of the voices of those who come on with us and who are willing to come and share and pour. So I appreciate you and I look forward to everybody lining it on up. Okay. All right. Justin said, I'll wait until the full army is up, then come with my infinity stones. Lord Jesus. Okay, listen, I don't know what the full panel is going to be. I'm not sure. We never know actually on Thursdays. We don't know, you know, we never know what we're going to get. We just know it's going to be fun and it's going to be live and it's going to be good. So, but I'm just glad y'all are here and engaging in the chat, and that's wonderful. So we can get into this conversation. Again, with it being Women's History Month, for me, one thing that I in life have learned not to do, and this is just my style, my way, you know, and everyone has their own, but this is just Dawn, is when it comes to history, you know, we find that history repeats itself when you don't learn from it. You know, we'll keep repeating the same mistakes, and sometimes we do the same things following. Okay, no problem. Just take your time, you know, following other people or just staying in line and in sync with those who have gone before us, you know, all of those things. And we don't always have a chance to or take the opportunity to break away from the norms, so to speak, or the traditions and become our own person, become our own woman. A lot of us as women have been, you know, we've all been taught, most of us by other women, whether it's a mother, or aunt, a grandmother, whomever, and so a lot of who we are is based on who they are or who they were. And in the midst of those things, while a lot of traditions have been passed down, there's also been a lot of hurt that's been passed down. There's also been a lot of pain that's been passed down. There's also been a lot of misteachings that have been passed down, not necessarily intentionally, but because we're all only doing the best to share what we know, we can only share from our experience. I see my lady Denitra is in the building. I'm gonna bring her up in a minute. But as women, there comes a point in time, and this goes for men too, the principle of it. There comes a point in time in all of our lives when we can no longer blame our way of doing things on the past, and all of this is leading into our conversation. Last week, we spoke about the confidence of a woman, and I loved how the conversation just kind of went left and took on a life of its own, which is wonderful. But we talked about the confidence of a woman. What is confidence in a woman? What does that look like? How do we show up as confident without being so much maybe labeled as masculine? And we as women have to learn how to balance those things in those moments. We've got to learn this juggling game, so to speak. And so with that in mind, it leads us to tonight's topic, which is talking about the fragrance of a woman. All right. Now, I don't know if we really realize that, we all have a fragrance. Everyone has a scent that goes with them, your natural scent, your natural fragrance, your natural odor, right? But we as women, and again, it's not applicable to the men. So if I'm just saying women tonight, it's a principle for everyone, but we're talking about the women. So you know what? Let me bring Denitra up before I go further. Let's see if she is ready. Hey sis, how are you doing tonight? You there? You good? You might be. All right. Well, when you're ready, just start talking. I'm not sure. I can't hear you if you are talking. There you go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for having me. I was just saying I got babies in the background, so if that's what you hear, that's what you hear.
Oh, all right. Hey,
That's what it is.
sometimes it's like that, so I get it.
Yes, ma'am. So yeah, I'm just trying to get myself settled in my seat here and
Okay, well, just take your time. I'm glad you're here. And they says, hey, at Denitra, we're just glad that you are here and looking forward to what because Denitra's gonna bring us some facts and some science and some substance as well, because she does skincare and different things that help to enhance how we show up. And when she's ready, we'll get there, and then everybody's gonna trust me. We gonna juggling in a little bit and Justin in a little bit. Y'all know how we do on Thursday nights. It gets a little extra. We turn the corner at a certain hour, so we just gonna play nice and mild until then. So whenever you're ready, you just let me know. Let's take your time. I know you guys handle your babies. So welcome in everyone again to Thursday night here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I'm your host, Ladies on Beat. And tonight's conversation is going to be about the fragrance of a woman. And we have our squad will be coming in, and we're going to get into this conversation because it is Women's History Month. So we want to help our women to think about maybe some of the spaces where we've been operating in certain ways for too long, and we might be blocking ourselves from some experiences or some expansions, that could be opening other doors for us. We don't have to. We're no longer in the struggle. We're in a struggle, but we're no longer in the struggle. Well, thank you, Anae. You loving my sparkle shirt? I gotta bling. I gotta have something shiny. It ain't me. I feel unfulfilled. I feel unlike me if I don't have something sparkling on. Oh, look who's in the building. I don't know. Do you need to get your paraphernalia? You need to get your props. You need to get your no, okay, that's all. Okay, all right, he's ready. He's ready. So I'm just gonna bring him right on up. Yes, y'all know it's the coach, Mr. Courageous Vulnerability himself. Look, he is. I didn't even say nothing. He's already ready. What's popping?
I'm just here to make sure they smell what the rock is cooking.
Oh my.
Okay, but come on, come on.
No, I'm joking. I'm here as a support.
I love the posture. Well, we appreciate you supporting and for your input. You know, so as I was saying and sharing, when in thinking about this month of Women's History, you know, I really believe that, ladies, we have to start reevaluating how we're operating and how we're moving, how we're doing things, and especially how we're showing up in the lives of the men that we encounter, as well as, you know, at work, at home, just in all of our relationships. Because a lot of us are carrying, or some of us are carrying, a lot of the things that we were taught previously and in different times. What worked for my mother does not necessarily work for me, you know, and it doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's right. It just means that I can't use the same things that she used in order to build my life and make my life successful. I can take the principle of some of those things, but some of those things I still have to drop off because my goals are not hers. You know, my dreams are not the same as hers. And then the path that I will take to get to where I need to be will not be exactly the same, you know, as hers as well. So I have to learn how to take the lesson from the things and apply it to my life and walk it out in my own way, you know. Denitra, do you find that you are repeating history per se, or are you making your own history?
I feel like now I am kind of making my own history, and I feel like I'm a part of at least for me, I'm breaking generational curses that I've seen present in my family. So I believe I'm definitely doing something different and not continuing that. So definitely something different.
Okay, I love that. I love it. Because, you know, there's a way for us to keep the traditions or honor them, but yet, especially as women, but yet um, still be progressive, you know. And I think a lot of us miss that sometimes because we just keep moving in the way that our mothers or our aunts or grandma, you know, Nana did it this way, so I'm gonna do it this way. And these are different times. People are very different. And before we go on, listen, y'all, she's in the building. She's in the building. And I love it. Okay, I told you, I thought I was straight no chaser. I think she's my straight no chaser twin. Okay. All right, now we done lost Justin. He done fell off. What is it? Oh Lord, did he run? Did you, Justin? Did you jump? Because juggling is in the building. Okay, he came back. All right, I was about to say, y'all know her, y'all love her. Listen, her mind is brilliant, and I love that she shares from her heart. So come on up, juggling mommy. How are you today, beautiful?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, Justin is back in the building, so I'm gonna add him back up here. So I was asking Denitra and chat, y'all chime in as well. Let us know, do you feel like you are repeating history, or as a woman you're repeating history, or do you feel like you are making your own history?
You want me to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
I believe I'm making my own history. I didn't like the history that I was handed, and I just don't want to continue in it. So I'm like, I got to change things up. So I'm definitely intentional about making my own history.
I love it. I love it. I love that. And I think that's important to hear. And you and Denitra kind of answered similarly from two different angles. But, the fact that you are making your own history because you didn't like, the history that you were presented with, so to speak. And I think we as women have to understand, like, you can change history. You have a right to. You don't have to do it the way mama and them did it for the rest of your day. Lord, Justin done put the hat on too. I'm ready. We ready. Come on, sir. I'm with it. We here for it. All the smoke. I love it. Because I think sometimes we as women, we let the guilt or the weight of guilt of just trying to honor those who were before us box us into continuing on doing, knowing this is not what I want to do, and I don't want to do this way. And that internal fight that we have, because for me, it feels like respect. I don't want to disrespect. I don't want them to be offended. I don't want you to be hurt. I'm not trying to offend you, because the minute you divert from the prior plan, we as women become so offended. Well, what do you mean you don't want to do it this way? We've always done it this way. Like the story, I forget who was sharing it, and I'm sure you've all heard it before, story of the ham, and the pan, and how Nana used to make the ham and cut it and put it in the pan and put it in the oven, but cut the ends off, cut the butt off the ham and put it in the oven. So everybody after that would always cut the butt off the ham and just keep doing it that way, until one day someone down the line asked, well, why do you always cut the butt off
Yes.
the ham? Right. And she was like, because the pan was too small. Her pan was too small. So,
And I'm that person. I love to ask the why. Why are we doing it like this? Who said it was working all that time? And whenever I ask the why, it's always some crazy answer like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So
how many butts of hams could have been saved if someone would have just asked earlier? But we don't ask those questions again because we don't want to offend. We don't want to appear disrespectful. We don't want to be the one to switch it up, not understanding or knowing. Again, that grandma was doing that because she didn't have a pan big enough to fit the whole ham in. Where we have more options now. It's like, man, that's the only reason why y'all thought it was some secret recipe. And it was not. It was just the pan,
And I'm thinking on you saying that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
I was thinking on you saying the disrespect part, and I'm like, it's running around in my head because that's been something that I speak about a lot, especially because you grow up here and you can't disrespect your elders. But also, I don't know, I kind of adopted the I don't want to disrespect myself mindset. So it's like, if it doesn't align with my peace, then why am I going to do it to make your life easier? And then I'm living hell. Like, I'm not going to do that. So is there a way we can meet in the middle? Because respect goes both ways,
Right.
but we weren't really taught to question things. So everything is disrespectful. So I also like to challenge the what is respect aspect, because explain to me how exactly I'm being disrespectful if I'm doing something differently, and then maybe we can see. But like you say, we don't stop to ask the why, and then we just continue this thing, and it all could have been changed years ago.
Right. You could have had a whole lot more ham in one sitting if you'd have just asked the why. But it's a major thing when you talk about the respect from woman to woman, and again with our elders, and you're right. We don't ask, we just continue to go because we were always told, children should be seen and not heard, and don't ask me no questions. I'm the adult, I'm the authoritator here, all of those things. And then it diminishes and boxes in who we are, and we keep moving. Meanwhile, the real us is just like dying inside, and there's something in you that the world needs. But because we refuse to step out of the pathway of Nana and them, we continue in these ways. And meanwhile, we're unfulfilled. The world is unfulfilled because they need that piece of you, And so with that in mind, I think when I started thinking of like the topic of the fragrance of a woman, we talked about our confidence last week, but these things add into the fragrance of who we are. Because wherever you show up, there's a scent, there's a signature, there's a vibe, there's your aura, there's a spirit that comes with you. And that's a part of the fragrance of who we are, as women, as people. But as women, I believe we have to be really, really careful because, you can walk in a room and set the whole place ablaze. It could be good. It could be not good. It could be bad, But how much of ourselves do we lose when we are not allowing ourselves to divert from the path of those who were before us? And I think to our elders, I would say this respectfully. You have to be open because, I don't want nobody feeling offended. You have to be open to understand. A lot of elders, or even us as parents, want to live vicariously through our children. Because you never got to do this. So we push our kids to kind of do what we never got to do.
Yep.
But sometimes we don't even ask them if that's even what they want to do.
It ain't a choice. We have to carry the mantle.
Right. Somebody has to, but it may not be my mantle to carry. Sometimes the mantle has fulfilled its calling, and we have to hang it up on the wall. And there's a different mantle that needs to be picked up. But how often does that new mantle go unlit? I will say, just because we're so busy still trying to carry on. Like I said, Nana and them. Maybe they used to wear Gina Tay all the time. I don't want to wear Gina Tay. It's my sister's favorite. Like because I'm dating. We're dating. I'm dating myself now. But y'all know, I tell my age, I don't care. But I don't, and that's because maybe that's what I don't remember my mom wearing it. But when we were kids, that's what the older women were wearing. The very, the sassy women that put on the sparkling in Gina Tay, splashing it on, and but that's not my, but that's not my scent. That's not my fragrance. That's not what I want to smell like. I want to be able to be me when I come into a room. Some women become offended by the presence of other women, and sometimes, and I'm not even talking outside of your family. I'm saying even within our family, again, because sometimes they haven't gone but so far. And so they don't want you to go further. And these are the things that we really don't talk about.
Yeah.
Everyone, we kind of want to make it seem like it's just peaches and cream and we only talk about, no, but we got to talk about the uncomfortable things, what kind of effect is it having on us as women today, for the women who have tried to keep us bound because they were bound. Jump in and share, y'all. Justin, we want to hear from you too, because Justin, as a man, gets to experience the women, or us as women, who live this way, and gets to see it from the outside while we experience it in the inside. Oh, the voice of God is in the building. I didn't give you know what? Hey, Moose, I'm so sorry, beloved. I got you right now. Shame on me. So you ladies want to jump in and share while I'm sending Moose my the invitation?
I was gonna circle back around on the when you were talking about the kids staying in a child's place and then growing up, me never learning how to play spades and dominoes and all that, and I feel like I missed out on a part of my black card. Like, I need to know these things because the world needs to know that I'll probably could be a good spades player, but I didn't get that experience. And so that was a part of, that's something I would want to change. Like, I want to teach my kids spades and dominoes so they can learn how to play. Because dominoes they use that in school. They teach them,
not the way we play it.
With numbers, they can add up some stuff. But it's an educational game. I'm sure it was an educational game.
It taught you stuff.
dominoes specifically it was meant for that. It
Yeah.
wasn't meant to be staying in a child's place. Like kids should be learning how to play dominoes for educational purposes, like chess and checkers and everything else. But games like those growing up, like we didn't get to really learn those because we were in a child's place. And usually that was adult activities growing up.
Really?
So we kids was not included. The adults around, we playing cards, playing specifically probably spades or something, um,
Right.
and dominoes. That was an aggressive environment. Kids was not
Yes.
around. They wouldn't. Our adults was not sitting here. Well, at least
Yeah.
for me, and that's why I never learned. And so I get teased a lot, and it's a part of Black culture to know spades and dominoes, and I just never learned that.
That's all right. We're gonna catch you up, sis. We're gonna catch you up. We go. Your black card is strong. It might be.
Now I can't. Don't
sounds
play.
good.
I can get you some Uno, Goldfish, Blackjack.
But those are bright.
Do you not, for
But we
clarity,
gotta
do you
change
not
these
know how to play
things,
dominoes at all?
It's huh?
Do you not know how to play dominoes at all?
I know how to play. It's just it was never taught to me. So I had to learn in a different environment, and that was just something most people learn.
Yeah,
I don't know how they learn. I don't know how. I don't know.
You need the right message. Okay, well, hold on, y'all. Justin, give me 1 second. Let me just bring Moose up. Y'all already know you love it. Listen, Moose the poet. I call him the voice of God. Y'all know who he is. The Lord is in the building. Okay, and so we can continue on.
Hey, what's up, family?
What's happening? How are you?
Good. Y'all gotta excuse me, I'm mobile, but I'm here.
You good? We just glad you're here. We cutting up. Come on, Justin. I didn't want you sitting down. It was come on, Justin, and share.
No, I was just gonna say for the Nitro, spades and dominoes is not it's not about how you play it, it's about how you say it. You got to have that aggression
I don't
in
have the
order to play
lingo.
black spade. Now it don't matter what you say, you just gotta say it hard. You even if you're gonna
So you
lose,
don't even know how to play. You can just
slam the dominoes and
Yes.
slam the cards, and now you playing black spades and black dominoes.
nonsense.
And if you actually can win, you got to slam it hard.
Trash talking.
That's a bonus. Listen, it's all in
I got
presentation.
time. I got time for that. I gotta
That's the
learn the
only way to
language.
play it.
And
So,
be
Uncle,
aggressive.
you
You know
count
what
If
I'm
you
probably
ain't
really
sweat,
good at
you
though?
ain't playing. Now you gotta be sweating and telling the person, go ahead, make the next move. I'm gonna bust your head open.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
you
my
play
dad.
spades.
Like you can't. So it taught
We gotta
you
change these
that
things.
resilience, that
That's
mental.
not healthy.
Not healthy.
Yeah.
you say juggling and taught you what?
I was saying that it teaches you that that mental strength. You have to be strategic. You have to be good under pressure because they're trash talking. Like in my house,
Right?
that's a very serious game. Like dominoes. We have one in Jamaica we call Ludi, and we play cards. But I don't know if it wasn't called spades. It was called burns. Now with
Okay.
that one, you get to hit the person if they lose, like smacking
Oh
them.
no, I ain't never
Too
played
aggressive.
that.
And
But you
again,
also have a lot of boys, so
that's
it
what I was
depends
gonna
on
say.
that
I was
dynamic
raised
too.
with my uncles, so
Mhm.
we're always playing these games, and I would watch my mom and brothers and all of them play, and they would just be at each other, and it looked like it was so intense, but it looked fun because you get the bragging rights, And I wanted to play, but I was little, so I'd watch. Now one day they allowed me to play, and they're like, "We're not gonna treat you like a child. So if you play this game with us, you gonna get your hand smacked the real way." And I didn't get my hand smacked the real way. So I was intentionally trying to learn so I could beat them one day and smack their hands. And I remember when I won and I got to hit my uncle. Oh, child.
It was like victory.
Victory.
Yeah.
So it is intense, but again, it teaches you because people are going to be saying things at you. So you have to learn to block that out, focus on what you're doing, trust in yourself kind of thing. And that to keep going, that resilience, it builds it up. So
Yeah.
I get why it's not technically a kids game, but at the same time, it's good for kids to
Yeah.
be around. But I don't know.
It teaches you, I think it teaches you we got to take these hood street lessons and, convert them to practical principles. And I think that it teaches you, number one, to have a poker face. You definitely learn some trash talking.
Yes.
You learn how to definitely never let them see you sweat, and those are things that we do need in life. They really are. If you think about now, the way they come about is a whole different story, but they are things. But all of this culture, environment, our communities, it all lends into who we are, how we show up, where we're showing up, how we connect, and the examples that we've seen before us. Like what were the women doing when the men were doing this, and a lot of times they're in the kitchen or they bringing snacks or they doing whatever, or they in there gossiping and doing hair. And we grow up to think that this is what we're supposed to do. Like when the men are over there, the women should be over here, and there's always going to be that one little girl, that one little boy that like, well, I want to go over there. I want to go and be with them. And we have tended, or I've seen in history and in culture where it'll be like, no, you stay here with the ladies, or no, you stay here with the men. But nowadays, we have to be able to engraft our children into both environments so that they can know how to adapt to dealing with the men or dealing with the women. I think it's good for us to be exposed to both sides. So this way, when you get older and you end up being exposed to it, because you're going to be exposed to it one way or another, you're not in culture shock like, oh my God, I didn't know men acted like this. Why are they so barbaric? And they're like, well, what is with the women? Why are they so prissy? It helps bring an understanding, and it helps for us to diffuse some of the misconceptions of how we all relate and correlate. Oh, hold on, listen, it is Lily. I'm just a girl. She's in the building. Welcome in, sis. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. We are just here. We just, we never know how the conversation's going to go. So we just in here talking, chilling. We trying to get Denitra to graduate from the brown card to the black card. We will get her some real rough spades going on, and
dominoes.
So that, she's set. So you're ready for it. But even in that, all of those things, those environments make a difference again on how we show up. And as women, with being a woman who can come into a male dominated space and hold it down, like Juglin was saying, she wanted to be able to get to that point, and she did, going then you could get to smack your uncle's knuckles, you ain't worried about smacking nobody else. Any other man after that, like that's light work, So when you come with them, it's like, what the man, listen, you ain't said nothing, I was up against my uncle. But a lot of times that leaves or can be interpreted as that confidence that you have can now be interpreted as masculine, instead of being a confident woman who knows how to engraft herself into a male dominated environment. And truthfully speaking, a lot of us as women, we know the whole women's right, women's movement, women's lib, and that whole push, but we are past that. We are here now. We have the right that we fought for. Maybe not every single thing. And truthfully speaking, I don't know that I want to be totally equal with a man. I want y'all to have some stuff that y'all do that ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't my business.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't mind the leverage. It's like, okay, I want to be equal as a human being.
Yes.
But equal in responsibility, there's some things that no matter how much I try as a woman, it's not in me to do. Right, and I don't want to. And when Coach Phil gets here, we know we have to we got to get her a GoFundMe for the car wash, because it's not
just gonna do that out of love.
She's just not gonna do. But again, it speaks to, you know, the environments that we've been in and we've grown up in, and culture. It speaks to how we as women show up. So when we're talking about the fragrance that we project, that we carry, you know, sometimes that confidence that we have, especially again in male dominated environments, to them may smell like masculinity and not the confidence of a woman. So my question that I primarily want us to like dig into tonight is simply this, and I'm glad the men are up here. Have we as women, in our effort to be leaders, have we lost the softness of being a woman? Oh, I see I see Coach Theo.
Come right on time, Theo. Come on up. I see her.
Right. I don't know why she's coming. But so Denitra and Juggling, I want y'all to answer this question first before Justin and Moose chime in and tell us from the other side, because sometimes the way we perceive something or the way we think we're showing up, it does not, it actually looks totally different to men. You know, am I right?
Say the question again. I want my brain to get.
Question is, have we as women lost our softness? Have we lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders? Because we're talking about the fragrance of a woman. What scent am I giving off as I operate day to day, whether it's in my relationship, when I'm home with my husband, my boo, whoever, when I go to work? You know, sometimes we get so caught up in being a leader that we forget to be a lady.
Yes. I'm not gonna say all of us have, but yes, some of us has. I'm also gonna say it's not always forever, but being in a male dominated world, sometimes it requires you to lose that softness because you're not going to be taken seriously. So you do have some women who you have to like tough up and buck up with a man just because of that reason. And it can be, you can be in that space so long that it's like you have this armor on, and if you're not careful, you don't know how to take it off. So, but in that aspect, if you still have that on and you're not intentional about removing it and knowing when to put it on, I should say, you can go into spaces where you're in relationships where it's not warranted and you're still wearing it. And it's hard for you to even realize, like, you don't need to put that on here. You don't need to be that masculine here. You need to be be softer. Also, in some areas where life demands a woman to play certain roles and she has to carry so much, again, she can still wear that and keep that on. And because that's just what life taught her, she has to be like. So you can wear that so long you don't realize that that's what it is, and it's hard to even see that. So yes, I say some of us have lost it, but it's not everyone, and it's not always forever. If she is open to listening, she can learn how to take it off or learn how to switch roles and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just the end you've been dealt, and you just gotta, lace up and do that. But that's my honest answer.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. You said not forever. Sometimes that armor is on and we don't know how to take it off. And sometimes, and I think to your point, the way I heard it in my head, even it made me think about sometimes we have it on so long that it becomes so much a part of us that we don't even know that we have it on. So we don't even know that we would need to take it off.
Yep.
So that made me think that in another question that I ask afterwards. But let me bring Miss Lily, I'm just a girl, to the platform and welcome her in. How you doing, Lily? How are you today?
Hey, Lily.
I'm just a girl.
We know.
All right, we could take that's. I'm with that. That's all we need you to be.
Oh my God, the shirt.
There you go. Listen, be it. Be
Is it
it.
the Princess and the Frog? Is that what the shirt says?
Oh, it's the princess will talk you out of your boxers.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, you get what you need. Get what you need.
So Prince.
It's the
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Brooklyn in me, you know?
I ain't mad at it. NYC is in the building. It's how we do. It's just how we do. Um, so let me hop over to Denitra real quick, and then we'll get to Lily. So Denitra, and thank you for that, Jacqueline. I loved it. Y'all gotta be taking notes tonight. Um, have we lost the softness? And Denitra's gonna share with us before we end the show tonight about the fragrances and we're just gonna let her do what she does. That's what we're gonna do before we end it tonight, because this is not just the mental conversation, but it's also how we show up in the physical, and so when we understand what the fragrance does and all of those things, but that's Denitra's special. I'm gonna let her tell y'all. Hold on, before you answer, Denitra, we got Coach Theo in the building. All right, I'm not even gonna go all the way there. I'm just gonna do it like this as I'm bringing her up because she missed it. Y'all know what it is. It's Thursday night and how we do. So what? So tonight on this very mic, you're about to hear, we swear, the best podcast ever anywhere. So cheerio, y'all scream what? Bravo. Also, if you didn't know, this is Thursday night with Dorby and the Squad Show. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Coach Theo, how you doing?
Everyone, I was trying to stay on the other side till y'all started talking about me.
We're trying to make sure you get your car washed.
I'm good. It's been a little bit of a rough day, but I'm good. I'm great.
No, I'm glad you made it. So, Denitra, have we lost the softness? And she is the soft life strategist. Again, I'm gonna let her share later. But I'm excited. I can't wait to turn her loose. Have we lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders?
Oh goodness, I had to think about this question several times and like what my answer was going to be.
What's the first thing that
First of
comes to
all,
you?
I'm strategizing a soft life for myself, so that you can take that what take it what it is. I'm trying to do what the definition of a soft life is to me, first and foremost. But I think that we have lost the softness. But to kind of piggyback off of what Juglin said, like it's almost because we almost had to be in these positions not because we want to. I mean, we don't always want to be, in that leadership role. So when it has to take over, I'm just trying to figure out what that translate as to far as to scent and what that gives off to a man. I don't know, but it's not a place that we want to be, and I don't know if that I don't know like how that that correlates, but I do have when I start talking about the pheromones, it'll probably make more sense. Um, but I just wanted to kind of to answer the question in short. Um, I think yes, but it's not like a place that I want to be forever. So I don't know if that I mean it affects the softness because I don't want to be in that space, but I could be in a soft space and still be in a leadership role also. So
True.
it's about just changing my mindset with that and still being able to maintain that softness in being in that space. And what it is the softness is really a mindset for me. So and just a way of living. And so I think you can lose it. I mean, it's just like changing your mindset with it. And with that, it's just going to be whoever comes into your life to take over that leadership role is just going to, or if you allow that into your life, it just depends on what aspect of it they're taking over. Like, I'm not going to ever be not hard as a mother, I guess. So like I've got to I don't know. There's some spaces that you have to remain hard or that's been hardened forever. It's just not gonna ever be soft. But I don't know how that comes off to a man. especially if it's from someone that doesn't want to be in that space, or if they don't want to be there forever, or if it's a temporary thing. I don't know. It just really depends on their mindset, and what they're attracted to.
Gotcha. I get it. And that is, I think, part of what this conversation is also about, getting us to think about that. We don't know how that comes off to a man, and sometimes, and not that everything has to be, we do this for a man or for men, in that sense, because I don't want anybody to think that, we're going at that angle. But the reality is we are people who we are in relationship, male, female, whether it be romantic or otherwise. And really when I think about fragrance of a woman, if it's easier for some to think about your presence, the presence of a woman, how are you showing up? How are you coming? Because again, when you walk in a room and you walk by, some things we wear, some fragrances we put on, it lingers. Depends on how you layer it. It depends on, how much you put on. Do you freshen it up? Do you do, whatever those things are? But your presence, how are we presenting? How are we showing up? Are we making sure that exchange, like you and Juggling have both said, that there are times when you have to be, I like you said that you can still be soft and be a leader, and be a strong leader, and I think that sometimes we as women, we forget that we don't have to match a man's energy. We don't have to try to, be as puffed out in our chest, to be heard and to be seen. Again, what is the fragrance that you are giving off, and the men will share after how that presents to them, because we don't know. We may be thinking it's one way, and it could come off a totally different way. When I was looking up the definition of fragrance, that fragrance comprises a combination of synthetic or natural compounds that produce a pleasant scent. And when I thought about it, as far as us as women, it's what are we combining in our lives, that's naturally us, along with what we've learned that can produce a pleasant scent, whether it's in the natural, but your personality, your spirit, your energy. What are we doing to make sure that the fragrance that we give off is that? Because a lot of times we're misunderstood because we don't realize how hard we are coming off. Like Juggling said, you may not even know that you have this armor on and don't know how to take it off. So Lily, it's your turn. In your feelings, thoughts, and opinions, and everyone in chat, y'all can chime in. Please do let us know. The question on the table right now is, have we as women lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders?
I don't know about the we, because I don't speak French. But as far as me, no. I think it's really situation based. Like when we have to be that leader, we are. Now, me per se, I do give off. I know I say I'm just a girl, but I'm a man at heart at times. And like in my relationship, it was hard because I'm so used to doing everything. So I had to relearn to be just a girl. So I think it's situation based. Um, and more so of what you want. I didn't want to be strong no more. I like to just relax, but I had to find someone who made me relax, made me feel comfortable to relax, so I could be just a girl and don't have to run the show.
I love that. And yes, thank you. We when we share and we speak, we it's not one voice, one sound. We cannot speak for every woman in the world, because we are not every woman in the world. There are some commonalities amongst all of us, and everyone has a different experience and perspective. So as we're sharing, it is from our personal experience and our So I totally agree. Again, but the beautiful thing is that everybody's voice and experience is something that other women can resonate with. And so that's why I appreciate the way everyone shares. I love the fact, to your point, Lily, you mentioned about you had to learn how to be just a girl, because you don't want to be strong. I think a lot of women today, we all have that same experience or mentality that we don't want to. As much as I enjoy leading sometimes, I don't want to. I don't want to do it,
And then we get so used to doing it and be like, well, in the past I had to do it, and it interferes with what we really want and what's happening in front of us. So I had to just keep remembering, like, I don't want to drive. I like being the passenger princess. Like, so I had to take my foot off the wheel, like, out the gas. Like, it's only as hard as we make it.
I agree. And I think also, to your point, some of us as women, unfortunately, grew up, don't know how to remember how to be just a girl because we never got to be just a girl. Some of us came into life situations having to fend for ourselves or be leaders or be in the driver's seat or take control. So we never have experienced, and some of us are grown women, like, my age, up in the upper 50s, still not knowing what that means to be just a girl. So at this big old age, trying, to, it can't even be something you unlearn. We have to literally learn something new because now we've been hardwired, you know what I'm saying, to always sit in this space, because being less than a leader was never an option that we had for some of us. It's never been that opportunity.
But
So
sometimes we then have to question ourselves, ask that question, like, we don't want to be strong. We want to, when will we let go? Like, when is it enough to stop saying, well, I didn't have that growing up, or we know what we want though.
it's true. We can
So
know we do. Yeah. And,
Uh,
and, and I, I love that. It's just in thinking of it, it's that two sides of every coin, thinking about the women who, again, some realistic just don't know any other way. Not that you can't learn another way, but it's really scary, because you have become accustomed to being who you were made into, not who you were meant to be, but who life made you to be. But you're right, it is your choice, and you have to get to the point and place where you want to learn something different. So I hope for those women who are listening and that are in that space can hear and understand that there is that option to flip it around, to learn the other side of that. I know Moose and Justin, I'm coming to y'all in 1 second.
I just want to say one quick thing if I can.
No.
Okay.
I love you, Lily.
Oh.
I said it first. Sorry.
No worries. Come on, Coach Theo. The question on the table right now, and this is great conversation. If y'all liking it, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button. That like button is free 99 to you, but it means everything to us. And I so appreciate everyone coming in tonight. Even those in the silent section, we still see you. Thank you. You are welcome to come down into into the chat with the rest of us and share and speak up. We want to hear. We're here to learn and grow together. So, Coach, have we lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders?
I don't know if I could speak for anyone else, but I mean, I can see how some women may have lost that, ability to be soft because of the situations they may have found themselves in, right? Where they have had to step up and lead and be in charge and etc. So I'm quite sure that happens. I would say for me personally, I am a natural born leader. I have been in leadership roles that were personally and professionally, right? I'm an executor. I'm someone that can step up, which means that I'm not trying to be in control. They already know I'm good with you taking my car to get washed. I'm good with you opening my door. I'm good with you. I'm good with you like carrying my bags, right? Listen, I definitely embrace my soft era, my soft, like any opportunity I have to be in that space, I'm gonna take it, right? Because I am the person that's always like, if it professionally or personally, being called on to be the one to, plan and move and do and execute and whatever. So I am, for me personally, every chance I get, every opportunity, I'm like, I'm good. Yes, you can do that for me. Yes. I mean, here's the thing. I am very capable of taking care of myself, but I will definitely step back and let anybody that wants to take care of me. Right. So,
Okay.
so but I do realize and recognize, because I probably have been in that space too, right? Even though I can embrace it, there are times when we don't have a choice but to step up and be the leader, right? And step into that space. I think for some of us, we just have to be able to, I want to say surrender, but have to know when it's okay. Because a lot of times also it comes with trust, right?
Yes.
Because I'm not following someone that is not capable of leading.
Yep.
Right? So in that instance, I might be like, yo, yeah, I'm gonna lead, because you might lead me off of the bridge or off of the cliff, right? So
Gotta press the brakes.
but I think it also depends on the situation that you might find yourself in as well, where some of us may find ourselves embracing that leadership side of us more so than we embrace the soft side.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And also, I just want to say, not because I don't want y'all to open my door, meaning I don't want y'all to do nothing else for me. I just impatient. I want to go in my car. But y'all didn't say this since last week now. Listen.
Sometimes it don't make sense.
I just don't want
go.
you. I'm just going to go in the car and sit down, and you can do anything.
You like, listen,
bring the water, bring the
juggling.
Now I'm gonna go back to last with the car opening of the door, because y'all.
But I'm telling her, listen, I was the same way at the beginning. Now I sit and wait for my car door to be open, and when I have to touch the car door, it's like taking out trash.
But I was gonna say, like Lily said,
but that's me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, like Lily said, once it happens and you get used to it, you be like, okay, I'll stay here.
Listen, and it's amazing. Like, I'm telling you. See, you talk about now you good, but then you like, I need a break. Listen,
I really don't. I don't. Like he does open my car door every now and then, and I let him, but it's not a requirement, and I don't care if he don't open my car door. I move right on along, and like my shirt says, I'm born to lead. I'm kidding, but yeah, for real.
I gotta get used to it again. Like somebody tried to open up my door and like pull my seat out, and it was weird for me because at first it was a requirement, and it's something that I always was taught, like, let the man do this. These are things that you should let the man be chivalrous and do. And I'll still let people open up the door just like I would open up the door for them, if I was in front of them. So it ain't about that. But if I was like a man taking a woman out on a date, like, of course, these are the things that traditionally, we were like taught. So it was like a requirement. I did expect it, but when it didn't happen, I don't know if I was disappointed it didn't happen. It was just like I just wasn't really used to, or never had it as a requirement. But now, not that he didn't do it, but he stopped doing it because it wasn't a requirement. And then years later, and now that we're going through a divorce, and I actually had this conversation with my ex-husband as he's trying to get back out there and date, that he had a woman have that as her requirement. And he's like, I didn't even do this for my wife, so I'm not going to do this for a random stranger. So it was just weird. But for me,
Dang, he ain't learned his lesson.
I guess not.
And again,
But
we're all
it
sharing
was.
experiences, y'all. We're
I
not
would require it when it was required, if that makes sense. Like, of course, like I'm not just gonna stand there and look stupid, like, and wait for you to open up the door when it's raining outside and we both need help and get in the car. Like, I'm gonna make a leadership decision. I'm gonna make an executive decision to hurry up and get in the car so you don't have a chance to open it. Let's go. It's raining outside. So
right.
try to make logic of, certain situations, but it still put me in a space where it wasn't a requirement because I didn't really let it be that way. Like, it could, even if it was raining, let him do it. Even if it is an inconvenience or if it's not convenient for me, like, let them do it. And I'm trying to, like, teach myself that, because if it's a requirement for man and that's what he's been taught, why not let him do it? Why not put yourself in that space and make it easier if that's what I mean, it should be a requirement. If you change your mindset, you absolutely should, do some of these things. But sometimes it's just not a big deal for everybody. Like, certain things, it's not going to be a big deal for me.
And that's true.
Some
And
things there might be deal breakers for people.
Yeah.
It just depends on the woman.
very
And what
true.
she was conditioned to and what she was taught,
Very true. And I love that. And thank you for the share. Thank you, ladies, for the share. Everyone, please gently press that like button and hype this video after the stream ends. It'll give you the opportunity to do so. It helps to push us out further and get us in the mix so we can keep having these great conversations. Lily says, just like the movie A Bronx Tale, I ain't even leaning over and opening his door. Okay, well, see, now the men gonna be mad because, it's courtesy. But hey, again, it's to each his own. We ain't speaking for
Hold on. You added some extra words. I said I do.
You said you even. Okay. I'm sorry. Let me reread it. Because I thought I read differently. I'm sorry. She said, just like the movie A Bronx Tale, I even lean over and open his door. So she does do that. All right. So men, don't be mad because she's saying
back in the 80s, like, who has a car that you got to lean over and open up the door like that for now?
Well, you can still
Like,
do it.
Automatic locks, like, ain't nobody need to open up the door. It's already unlocked. You both can get in.
Girl.
But I think that's a matter of courtesy. The men are feeling, men want to be, it's reciprocation. Oh, thank you, Lily. I appreciate y'all know I got to have some sparkle. Let's see. If I don't feel right. It don't feel like me. Thank you. And look who's here. One of the most amazing women in my life who I appreciate, Pastor Sheila herself, the curator of this amazing space and the starter of this network. She says, great conversations, blessings to the host panel and chat. And she gave a super chat on tonight. We love super chats. Don't feel ashamed. Don't be afraid. Please help yourself to super chat all you like, and we will stop and read your comment and make sure that it is seen. Thank you, Auntie Bravo. Appreciate you. As we are talking on tonight. Okay, listen, I ain't mad at you, Juggler. She said, I got 99 requests, but opening my door ain't one. I'm not mad at that. Listen, everybody to each his own. I would say, for me, it's just a matter of don't start something that you will not continue to follow through with naturally. Like, don't buy me flowers regularly in the beginning, and then 3 months in, you're not, you just stop, or don't start opening my door. And I think for me, let me own my feelings. For me, that's why I don't like for you to start doing things. And that's a me issue. That's a mean issue. It's a doing issue I'm working on, because I later on don't start treating me one way. And then down the line, when you get comfortable, then you start the switch up, because I'm going to stay consistent. I will stay consistent. I will still open the door. I get in the car. You open the door for me. I will reach over and open the door for you. And even if you do, I don't do it for my son. That's the person I don't do it for. But I was, dating someone who he opens doors. He holds your hand. He walks you on the inside. All those things, carries the bags, all of those things. And I appreciated him, and he was consistent with it. So I know that's a part of who he is. So in that relationship space, I'm cool with that, because you set an expectation, and You allow me to be that lady regardless. But with others, that's not always the case. So when I see that you don't start opening my door unless it's a unsafe situation, if that's the only time you do it, I watch your habits and then I adjust accordingly, because I don't want to be disappointed and then have to create an argument, because men don't like, and I don't want to speak for the men, but I'm sure y'all don't like it. You speak for yourselves, and we say, well, you used to buy me flowers and you used to take me out and you used to do, this and that. I don't want to have those conversations. I want you to be who you are. If you're not the type who buys them, don't buy them. If you're not the kind of guy who opens the door, don't open it. Then it's my choice to decide, is this space that I want to be in? Am I being treated the way I want to be treated? And am I showing up again? Because some men will do things, and I'm just speaking from a woman's perspective, some men will do things for certain women and won't do them for other women. And it has a lot to do with how that woman showed up, how you make him feel in his presence. If you're not coming off as a lady, 9.99 times out of 10, he is not going to treat you like a lady. He may be courteous, but there's a difference in you being courteous and you treating a woman like a lady. Every woman doesn't show up as a lady. So, that's just one side of the coin. But let's see. Denitra said that part. Don't start nothing you're not going to be consistent with, right? And that work, and exactly like I said, and it works both ways. I'm not going to start treating you one way that I'm not going to continue to treat you down the line. Lily says it wasn't my requirement. He actually requires it. It's something he started. Even in arguments, he still opens the door. I try and hurry out the car so he can't get my door open. Yeah, I get it. I'm mad, but I still love you. That's what that is. And that's good. That shows respect.
And I love that.
Yeah,
because I've never had that before. I'm so used to, like, in an argument, everything is just done. Like, we just solo dolo right now because we're mad. And he showed me, like, in the midst of arguments, like, nothing changed. Like, I be having an attitude, like, all right, I love you. What? Oh, okay, I love you too.
And that's
so it's just like, okay, and that's what made me just want to keep just being soft, because, like, I have no reason to be a leader. Like, I have no reason to be hard. Like, I'm gonna sit here, scroll as you're in the kitchen cooking. That's fine.
Because my comment when you start switching up like that, it's like, oh, that's what we doing? So this is what we doing? Okay. And you will only have one time, just that one time that in the midst of and after that, I'm like, I got you. You will never get the opportunity to hurt or offend me in that way again. I'm not gonna hate you, but there are parts of me that then start to become, huh?
You said what time?
Him not opening that door when you're mad is gonna hit a little different.
Wow.
If you
so wait. We not having a conversation, asking him, like, saying it gently, like, hey, I noticed you used to do this. I noticed you haven't done it in a while. What's going on? Like, we not doing that. Like,
I'm still reforming in some ways. I'm still reforming.
Okay, I love it. I was just checking.
Did you see
saying in the sense that when you act a certain way, how you treat me when we're mad says a lot more to me. Justin is changing his glasses. Says a lot more to me.
That's
I don't even know what that's for.
Love, because when something gets triggered. When how you treat me when you're mad speaks to me, and this is just Dawn, speaks a lot to me about how you really feel about me regularly. Are you just waiting for the opportunity to act this way, to say certain things? Because some people, all they need is a space. Because for me, if you're my man, there's certain words that are never going to be in my vocabulary when it comes to you. There's certain actions. I don't care what we're going through. I'm going to continue to respect you. I'm going to continue to carry on this way, because the argument and the anger is just a moment.
Yeah.
I
and
agree.
that's
sure
greater.
Related?
I somewhat agree.
I'm just saying that's me. I just feel,
it's called integrity. Like, sheesh.
I feel like
I agree with you, sis.
It's a moment. And if you're gonna switch up with me that quickly over a moment, and if I can harbor my anger and not let it take away from the love or respect that I have for you, and maybe I expect too much, but that's what I expect. That's my
Come on.
expectations. So as the ladies have shared, let's see, I want to flip it over to the men. So Justin and Moose, as you've been listening in, as we're talking about the fragrance of a lady, of a woman, talking about the sense that we leave off as we enter a room, with not just the physical sense of a fragrance, but with our presence, and asking the ladies, have we lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders? Because it seems like this is a lot of the struggle that happens in relationships, not just romantic kinds between men and women, but all kinds. We want to hear what you have to say from the male perspective. And again, of course, everyone, when we say we know that it's not everyone, not speaking for everyone in the world, because we can't, but we're just sharing. It's a general question, and we're just sharing from our experience. So who wants to go first, Musa or Justin? And just comment on whatever it is you feel you want to comment
Um,
on. Both of y'all quiet? I don't know. I'm nervous.
I'm the consistency. Well, it's a couple of things I heard. I heard about like the whole leadership thing. It's always, I'm always interested in understanding okay, I guess my question would be, what do women mean when they say if you don't lead, or if they don't identify with, acknowledge, understand, are familiar with the way a man lead, they gonna just take over. Like I don't understand how you want him to lead and dictate how he leads. So I would really like to understand that. In terms of everything else, it sounds good, but I think I don't speak for all men, right? I'll say that I think the consistency thing has to be two ways. I'm gonna open the door even when I'm mad, but I'm gonna need you to continue those same loving practices even when you mad. And I don't, in my experience, that's not the case. I, get mad and all of that goes out the window. And then it's like, well, you ain't still doing this. And it just grows to a point where what I identify as entitlement can create a space where I feel I have to defend myself, because I'm expected to continue pouring into a situation that is not only not pouring into me, but doesn't seem to be truly even receiving what I'm pouring. Just my experience and what I think about it. But I definitely agree with everything that the ladies have said in terms of not trusting. But to me, sometimes I wonder, like, are you not trusting your last situation, or you not trusting me? I ain't got nothing to do with the last time. You know what I'm saying?
That
And as
part.
I hear Lily speak, I'm proud of her, because you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta be courageously vulnerable and accept this new form of leadership. Yeah, shameless plug. I ain't ashamed though. Um, but you have to step outside of that comfort zone. Like for me, not allowing me to open the door every single time, that's a problem for me. Wait. I don't care if you in a hurry, wait. Um, it's the first thing I'm gonna do, but
Can I say
that's a
something?
problem for me. We didn't interrupt the ladies, but go ahead.
No, we're gonna let the men speak. Let's hold our thoughts and comments, because we want to let them, in all fairness, have their space and time respectfully. So continue, Justin.
So yeah, no, that essentially that's what I think that I believe in reciprocation. I I didn't always believe in it, but I believe in reciprocation. I believe if there's pouring happening and you want the pouring to continue, you have to reciprocate the pouring. I don't know if I'm right or wrong for, but I don't even require that I be poured into the exact same way in the exact same amount as someone else. But I definitely want to be treated like I'm not just here to be to fulfill this obligation of what it takes to be considered yours. Um, I would like to be appreciated for uh what I'm doing. And yeah, but if one of the ladies can at some point, if not even on the live, I would like to understand the whole concept of if you don't lead a particular type of way, um, then I don't trust you because I've been burned before. To me, it's like, okay, so the last time you had this type of leadership, it didn't work, but you want me to do the same thing. That's kind of weird to me. But y'all can help it make sense to me.
Okay,
I'd
we
be
said
happy
that.
to give you my perspective anytime. If you
Well,
got time,
we
whatever you got time, because I got time.
well, all right. Well, okay, so we're gonna definitely get that question answered. I think that might be a TikTok night. I think. Oh Lord, he might.
It might have to be one of those.
I think it's gonna have to. Oh, and he got the baseball cap. But Jesus in his
We
backwards.
might have to have a phone conversation prior to the
I'm
TikTok.
like, we can go on TikTok as soon as this wraps up. It's no problem. We can carry the conversation on over there. It's no big deal.
And we will.
Like, whoever wants to start
And
the
we'll
live, whoever wants to start
Juggling go live tonight.
whoever's letting page we going live on, just we'll holler. So Moose, add in because Justin is set. So Moose, what would you like to add?
I just want to say this before moves go. The hat says "Save not soft." I just wanted to put it out there real
that's what I
quick.
was trying to see.
Saved not soft. It's a message, and I hope it's gotten.
Oh yeah, it's Southside Christendom. That's what that is. Southside Christendom. Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's where I'm from. Trained by the lion, not the lamb. Yeah, the table turner. That's how we do. That's the south side to heaven, y'all. It's the south side. Come on, Moose.
Hey, listen, I'm listening. There's a lot of good points. There's a lot of good things said. Reciprocation is important. And, you know, I didn't want to get into the toxic aspect of things, but, you know,
Sometimes we have to.
you're right. Sometimes there's a double standard, right? And the double standard is, you know, everybody has this idea of what a man is. And for any one woman, I could not. For you, Lady Dawn, I might be a man, but for Denitra, I'm not a man. For Juggling, I might be a man, but for Lily, I'm not a man. What I might do with you, Lady Dawn, might be considered, okay, manly. What I might do with Denitra might be considered the opposite, you know? And I think a lot of times when we talk in these spaces, that isn't identified. And, you know, as much as there's this collective idea about what women want, love, and need, and all these different things, it's not monolithic. So I think that's important sometimes in these spaces, right? Like, what does a man look like to you? What does he do? You know, and when you see women being quote unquote masculine, like to the question earlier that women lose their softness and being manly or whatever, masculine, like what is that? What was it that she was doing that was being masculine? Right? And then how did that impact her? Because here's the crazy part, right? When women are moving in that masculine energy, It ain't healthy for her, is it? Like, imagine what it feel like for a man and living in that every day. And I ain't trying to say give us a pass or make excuses or anything. But living out there being, for some of us, something we've never seen, but know that we need to be, that's a heavy responsibility that we place on ourselves and that you place on us. So, you know, I feel like at the end of the day, if we understand that how we move for each other matters and that it should be appreciated, you know? And to like Juglin's point earlier, if something happens and we move off course a little bit and I stop doing the things I did, or I slowed down, or you notice it, say something to me. Say something to me, because I'm going to say something to you too if I need to. But most likely, men don't say nothing. We don't say anything. And that's not good either. That's not good either. But we don't really say anything. But I just wish that we could all be in the energies that we need to be for each other. So that just means talk to each other more, if that make any sense. All right? I don't want you to be in your masculine all the time, you know? But you might need to let me be in my feminine a little bit. But it is what it is. So, that's me. I'm done.
Thank you for that. No, I love that, and I appreciate everything that you said. And this is why we have these conversations, because again, it's not one voice, one sound. It is everybody bringing up their perspectives, and I think how we view things is very reflective of how we were taught. You know, and we have to learn. I'm unlearning some things that were taught down through the years that may have been applicable and necessary to women who were before me, but I don't need to operate in those things now, you know. And because if I operate in those things now, I would come off very masculine. I would come off very hard. I would come off, you know, very obstinate. And that's because you got, I feel like in life, you got to think about when someone is teaching you something, be careful of who you follow after, who you allow to mentor you. I got you, Justin. Who you take notes from, because you got to understand where their mentality is at that time and what their situation is at that time, because we could be teaching each other wrongly, having good intentions, but teaching each other wrongly. And then we become hard coded in these ways. And then we're showing up in spaces, seeming very obstinate. And that's not, and that's not how we intend to be. To your point, Moose, about the views of what a man is, and, you know, to each one. And yes, all of us would probably have very different ideals in the sense of what a real man, and I really despise that term, real man and real woman. I really do. I wish we would stop saying it, because what's real to you is irrelevant to me, you know. And then it dishonors the person who doesn't qualify or who doesn't meet your requirement, but it doesn't mean that there's no value in them. And I say that because I think across the board, we kind of have to stop the comparison mindset, because we really all want the same thing. At the end of the day, at the core of it, we all want to be loved and we all want to give love. Now, women, just like men, there are core things that we all want from a man or the man in our lives: protection, provision, love, respect, you know, partnership. Those are all the same. We all want the same things. The issue or the question is, what does that look like for you? It's not that we want something different. We all want the same things. But what does it look like for you? And understand that it's not going to look the same for everybody. And it doesn't, and accept the fact that it doesn't have to. You know, the way I love Justin would be different from the way that I love Moose. Why? Because y'all are two different people who have two different experiences, who have two different needs. The way I talk to Justin may be different than the way I talk to Moose. Again, you're two different people, two different needs, two different vibes, two different experiences. And I would need to pour into Justin one way. You may not need that. And pour into Moose differently. Are we willing to be flexible to learn how to pour our love into each other in the way that we need it, instead of cutting it off because it doesn't look like what everybody else says or a majority of people says it should look like?
Amen.
You know, come on, Justin, because I'll be on my soapbox for a minute.
I just want to say amen.
No.
So I heard you talk about like women functioning in masculinity, right? So I wonder sometimes, is it always women functioning in what is called masculinity, or is it sometimes functioning in ODF?
Define ODF, everybody may not know.
Oppositional defiant femininity.
I would think that, okay. I think it is somewhat based on interpretation, because what may seem defiant to you, again, I don't know why, but life just comes down to semantics all the time. You know, like what seems defiant to you may not be defiant to somebody else. You know, how are you expecting me? Am I defiant when I don't respond the way that you want me to respond? Or am I defiant because I am maybe being strong in how I'm responding? You know, I see you, Moose. Go ahead, because I forgot my train of thought.
Sorry, no, I just wanted us to define defiance, if we could.
Justin?
I think of it in terms of the traditional me. Just, always fighting back, always, trying to.
The oppositional, being difficult, intentionally difficult. Because sometimes just because I don't agree with you, you could think that I'm being defiant.
Yeah, not me. I actually can respect and even in some cases enjoy the independent thinking. I don't need you to think the way I think. I like the challenge because I am a fan of challenging my own thoughts, and I oftentimes challenge my thoughts by introducing them to other people and leaving my thoughts open for scrutiny. So I'm not looking for somebody to agree with me just because I exist and breathe air. I'm also not. It's difficult, really difficult for me to sit in the midst of a situation where me pushing back on the opinion of another is more than me pushing back on that opinion. A person that takes it as a personal attack rather than a challenge to an idea. And so when I talk about defiance, I mean the traditional definition of it. That's all I mean.
Which
And
is
so
Gotcha. Okay.
open resistance or refusal to obey someone or something is what I know. That O word is a problem. So and again, I'm not looking to re-raise a child. You are an adult, you have been raised, you've went through the phase in life that you had to yes sir and no sir and yes ma'am and no ma'am. I'm just saying to me, there's a culture that pushes the idea of being oppositional and defiant for the sake of being oppositional and defiant. Of course, not any of the ladies on this panel, but I'm saying as a man sitting watching the stuff on the internet, a lot of times I wonder, like, is it what is the benefit of just being oppositional, of being vulgar, of talking down on the other gender? I don't understand it. That's why I typically don't engage in it. So yeah, that's what I mean. Like, for me, a woman bossing up is, to me, powerful femininity. It ain't necessarily masculinity. It's just a different level of power within femininity. I don't. If we are going to me, if we're going to apply those the way I understand them to be applied in most cases, where men are masculine and women are feminine, then why would we take a powerful woman and remove femininity from her and say she's functioning in masculinity when she could just be functioning in femininity? Now, when it get to a place where it's like you feel that you need to tear down a man to function within that space, I don't call that femininity or masculinity. That's just a person being a bad word. So that's how I think about it, but I could be wrong. Like, I don't think me being a masculine man means I have to dominate or plow over or beat down or be so heavy on a woman. I think being masculine is being able to step in with my presence and balance it out, and we balance each other out so that we can create something beautiful. You know what I'm saying? This is just my independent thinking about it as a man. So to me, it's almost weird to hear women talk about being masculine, because femininity is super powerful to me. So why would you take the power from femininity and say you're being masculine? You know what I'm saying? I feel like femininity, being a balance to masculinity, can function within the scope of masculinity and still get the results that the woman wants, or the company wants, or the family wants. I feel like all of that stuff is, I don't feel like you have to function in an entirely different type of unfamiliar energy to get what you want. But I could be wrong. Just my thoughts.
Well, I would say this, and then I want to shift a little bit because I want to make sure that we get Denitra, the Soft Life strategist, to share, because while she's sharing her understanding and what she's willing, I think it was important in this conversation, because a lot of women, we use this soft girl era, in my soft girl space, verbiage, and never really seeing or understanding what that may look like from a woman who's really working towards doing that. And it may look different for everyone, but I think it will help give definition, to it. I would say to you, just in my understanding or in my experience, women didn't start with, we were called masculine. We didn't start calling ourselves masculine when we became women who were speaking up for ourselves, who were wanting, space and rights and our voices to be not just heard, but respected. Then we started being labeled as being masculine. So now you want to sit at the boardroom. So now you want to run the company. So now you want to pay the bills. And these were roles that, or things, tasks that were defined as masculine. So then that label gets put on us and we start operating that way. So in order to make sure that we are being relative in the conversation, we adapt that verbiage and say, well, this is how we understand men view us as being masculine. Now, I believe in all of us, men and women, there's masculine and there's feminine. If I am the weaker of the two, but not weak, there is some masculinity in me. I have to have some inner male strength, in a sense, in order to be your support. When you can't be it. Femininity in and of itself, yes, is strong and is powerful, but I also need an extra extra push, an extra strength, that may not be as soft as the female, the feminine side of me. And I need that, and it's sad that we have been pit to be one or the other instead of being allowed to embrace both. Men can't be, when he is being, you want a man to be romantic and to be gentle and to be attentive, and then we call them soft, or you get called simps, or you get called, you're not man enough. But you need that side of you is needed in order to pour into a woman, at times. And so I hate the fact that we have divided these lines, and instead of letting us be whole people who need both sides of that in order to show up as a whole person, we now have to lessen one to be more of the other, So I hear you and I'm with you, and I love, all of that. Like we could be on here all night, just talking about, because these conversations are necessary to really dig down to it, because then once you can identify what something is, then we can strategize on how we can change it. Because even if, Moose and I had a conversation, and we talked about, and he's very big on starting with the youth and helping the youth and catching them to avoid as preventive measures for the next generations. But we have a fixing to do right here in this generation if we don't halt and stop, because otherwise we're going to be teaching them the very same things that we're doing. We don't have a resolution. The resolution has to start with us. We have to be the test dummy, so to speak, for these practices, to see which options we can even put out there and say, hey, I don't know which one is going to work for you, but when I did this worked for me, and just give them some options to go on, and then let them build their own. I want to read some comments, and then I want to give Denitra the floor to share. I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation. I know I'm gleaning a lot. Y'all are helping me in my reformation, okay? I just want you to know. Now, I have to agree with Denitra in this comment right here, because when I read it, I heard myself talking. She said, I got to stop telling men that I think I'm not good, that I'm a better man than them. Listen, sis. My mouth is real reckless. I'd be like, bro, I'd be like, well, you act like
I'm not gonna tell a man that though, but it's my way of my thinking. Now, I mean, I ain't gonna say I ain't never told a man that, but I have not told a man that, like, in like seriousness, that I'm a better man than you are. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I definitely will. I had it in my spirit. I would say, like, I wish I was strong enough to, like, if I was a man, I would do this. I've definitely been in those spaces. Like, I wish I was a man. And I would definitely get up in that. I would.
I've said it. I've done it. I have not apologized for it and be like, well, bro, if you think I'm a man, then you need to be a better man than me, just because my mouth is reckless. I'm reformed. But I'm not. See, the thing is this: if you don't make me say stuff like that, then I won't say things like that. Poor Theo, now she's scratching her chin. I'm reformed though. I'm better. But don't push those buttons and you won't unleash the beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've learned to control my mouth and be like, you don't have to clap back like that because it's not helpful. And I don't want to be that, but when you start tapping on the cage, then, it becomes a whole different type of situation. Hey, my kin, Anitra, the ace perspective is in the building. She said that even everyone, she says, defiance in and of itself is a response of resistance to something a person perceives as pressure, control, injustice, or authority they reject. Juggling says, I don't think we're qualified to be giving those disorders. Anitra says, so it begins with the person's perception in a situation. Yes, Lily, you did have something to say. I am sorry. I was coming back to you. And if you remember, please let me know. So it's okay, girl. They still telling us how to be better women. Okay. I love it. I want to make sure I get to, okay. And then Juggling did have a question, which I think is really good question. And I think, this question, if we can also table it next week. The men are up on the men's panel, and I think this would be a good question for the men to answer, in depth. Because I don't think it's going to be a one-liner. And Juggling says, good question. What's a masculine woman from a man's view? So yeah, we gonna kick off next week with that question, if that's all right, because let the men think about it. So let me see, where were we? Did I get all of the comments? I think so. All right. So before we get to wrap up, I want to give space to Denitra to share and help educate us, give us a little session, some information. Do what you do.
Thank you. So it kind of, what sparked that, like, that last question that he asked, like, what, makes a woman masculine? And so I'm like thinking, like, what does that give off? Like, if anything, does that even give off a scent? Because when I'm working in a masculine energy, like, I'm sweating, like, it's like a different kind of scent, that if we're talking about smells here, and what we actually give off to the opposite sex, or even just the masculine man. Because I think, like, even a lot of other people touched on, just like, some people may find that attractive, some people, and that kind of energy might attract the other person. So it's kind of hard to tell, but like chemically, it might be a different story. So I'm just going to read. This was from scienceinsights.org is where I got this information from. So it's not from my own ideas, but this is just an article. So it says a popular idea in evolutionary biology is that women can smell genetic compatibility through body odor. The theory centers on the major histocompatibility complex, MHC, a set of immune system genes. The hypothesis goes that women should prefer the scent of men whose MHC genes are different from their own, because offspring can genetically dissimilar parents. From genetically dissimilar parents would have stronger immune systems. So, just so they have a better outcome for their kids anyway. So it's just like, so starting with that, and then it goes on to say the idea gained traction from the infamous sweaty t-shirt study in the 1990s. But a large scale media analysis combining data from the genomic studies, relationship satisfaction surveys, odor preference experiments, and mate choice research found no overall significant effect on MHC similarity on human mate selection. There was no consistent link between MHC dissimilarity and odor preferences, no association with relationship satisfaction, and no evidence that real couples are more MHC dissimilar than chance would predict. The researchers noted evidence of publication bias in earlier positive findings, meaning studies that found an effect were more likely to be published than those that didn't. But so it just touches on different points. So that one was mostly about like the genetic compatibility theory. So just like how women, their bodies will naturally tell them these things. So on how to find a man. So based on that shirt theory. So there's also one about menstrual synchronicities. So the famous claim about pheromones affecting women's menstrual cycles, the idea that women who live together gradually align their periods. And this was like back in 1971 in some of these college residents, they did a study. But, we always, we know those things. So early follow-up studies appeared to confirm it, in that the proposed mechanism was airborne pheromones that could speed up or delay ovulation. So even within women, like, we are going off of each other's scents as well, and we syncing up our periods. So it's like, all of these things, that make a woman, it's way more deeper than just attracting the opposite sex. Um, and then that even goes into some of the marketing things that when they selling pheromone perfume, or when they do these when they do these I don't know, when they make perfume, like all the chemicals that are in them, that goes into market search and research that they put into these perfumes, because some of them do have pheromones in them that will change, and so everybody gets a different scent from the perfume. So anyway, it goes on to say, sorry, this is a little nerdy side, but anyway, pheromone sprays and colognes typically contain and I'm not even going to say this right, and I ain't going to try to pronounce it, but a lot of different androstadinones, a lot of nones words on the end of them, but
Okay.
sometimes blended with conventional fragrances. And it says the marketing implies these products will make women feel irresistible attraction to whoever is wearing them. And I mean, the actual science supports none of this, but what the research does show is that certain chemical compounds in male sweat can modestly influence cortisol levels, mood, and emotional processing in women, effects that vary depending on the cycle phase and social context. It says these are real biological phenomenon, but they are far from the reliable attraction trigger. So let me see. The effects are small, highly context dependent, and have never been shown to override the complex social, visual, or psychological factors that drive human attraction. A woman's response to andro something unknown during a stressful job interview, for instance, involved heightened anxiety or lower confidence, not romantic interest. So, that your pheromones can change and your scent can change just based on stress, or it could change anxiety levels. So it's not really a romantic thing, that could change your smell. So when you working in that masculine energy, I'm like, what does that thing smell like to a man? Because I'm just working in whatever energy is like coming to me, so what does that smell like? Like, that's the question. What does that thing smell like? Because I'm just working in the energy that I'm currently in. So and that can affect your smell all kind of ways.
That's good stuff. Well, thank you for I thought it was important, and I love that, just so that we understand, like, it is not just emotional, it is, as Denisha was sharing, it is also, physical, it's chemical, it's, there's a whole science to it, and again, not just our emotions are involved, but we give off sense with our presence, and as women, it's important that we consider how we are showing up and what fragrance we are giving off, not absolving the men of the same type of mentality, but we dealing with the women. We gotta be responsible for ourselves. We can't be responsible for the men. We gotta fix us. We gotta deal with us. We gotta grow us up. So I don't want to hold y'all all night, but I do thank you all for sharing in this conversation tonight. I hope it triggered, inspired, sparked, some thought for us, not just about ourselves, but also for those that we are in contact with, whether it be romantic, business, socially, whatever it is, just so that we are always showing up as our best selves at all times, when we have the opportunity to, and to understand how our presence really does make a difference and affects the tone of the rooms that we are in. So with that being said, I want to make sure that we each have time to go around and share our final thoughts and comments about, the fragrance of a woman. Have we lost the softness of being a woman in our effort to be leaders? Are we able to maintain it and still show up, use all parts of who we are? So I want to give you guys that space. I'm going to start with our coach, Theo. And then we're gonna go to Moose and Justin and Lily, then Juggling, then Denitra, and then we're gonna be out. Come on, Coach. Give us your final thoughts, comments, and where they can find you.
Yeah, I think it was a really good conversation. I think we just have to all, always be mindful of when we have these conversations. A lot of it is also, we have to take into account of experiences that people have had in life, right? Situations that people are, basically dealing with in life. And also for some of the terms that we sometimes will share, we also have to think about how everyone defines that, right? Because everyone's definition is going to be different when we're talking about how someone defines this and someone defines that. But I think in all things, right, there's always 2 or 3 sides to every coin, for lack of a better word, when it comes to having these conversations.
Very true. Thank you for that. Yes, let's be open-minded and receptive. There's nothing wrong with learning a new perspective, hearing a different angle, and we're all here to learn and grow as we are sharing from our well of personal experience. It's not one voice, one sound, and everyone's experience has someone else attached to it that our voices resonate with. So that's why I love the diversity of conversation. Lily, I'm just a girl. What are your final thoughts and comments, beautiful?
I'm just a girl.
I love your theme song.
Yeah. No, I don't have no final thoughts. I'm gonna wait to get on TikTok and be toxic.
Okay. We can do that. We can definitely do that. I love it. And thank you for your share earlier about us learning how to be that softer side. I that is an echo in my mind. I'm like, gotta learn it. Coach Vulnerability. Come on through, sir.
I appreciate the space tonight. I'm grateful to the ladies that were here. Again, I just was asking questions and kind of throwing things out there, but all of the ladies that I know here personally are amazing women, amazing leaders, step up to the plate and get things done and do what they got to do. Again, I think that more voices like the ladies here tonight, I think you all should be the louder voices rather than some of the stuff that gives me the heebie-jeebies. But again, I just appreciate being able to sit in the presence of greatness.
And we appreciate you and thank you for always asking and putting out there thought-provoking questions. It's a lot and there's depth to it, and it's important that we do have these discussions and that we listen as well. Oftentimes Justin asks questions and my mind starts reeling. I got to go reevaluate my life like at least 4 times a day when he asks a question. I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying it's what happens. Let's see who's next. Denitra, come on and share. What's your final thoughts?
Oh, thank you again for having me here. My final thought is just wrapping up on the fragrance. And breaking like generational curses, like things I was thinking about, like just like hygiene, since we talk about fragrances, that you do probably need to, change some things because we've come a long way as women too in our personal hygiene. So some things like that need to change. And then because I'm thinking about what people just wash their face with. I can just imagine what they wash the rest of their body with if they don't even know what to wash their face with. That's my final thought. I mean, it really needs to be a curriculum in schools. Personal hygiene, self-care, more personal care, I would say, and sexual education needs to be brought back into the schools. That's my final thought.
Okay,
all school systems, all age groups, needs to have their own curriculum.
Some of us might need to go back I'm just
Amen.
saying. Um, um, come on, voice of God. Thank you for this. Come on, voice of God. Tell us your final thoughts.
Hey, I love everybody. You know what it is. It's all about growth and healing. And I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the conversation, everything you guys all brought to it. As men and women, let's do the dang thing. And I want to say one more thing before I go too. A nod to Justin, what he was saying earlier. Like, I don't ever hear men really say negative things about femininity. Femininity is a beautiful thing. Feminine is a beautiful thing. Women are a beautiful thing. As one black man to many beautiful black women and women around the world. Look, we love women. Y'all are amazing. And inside you guys are the energy to create, destroy, make everything. Like, we love you. And that's one of the reasons why we push this and why we try to connect, right? Because we got to connect the dots. So that's my whole thing. I want to connect with you. Love you all. Appreciate you.
Thank you for that, Moose, because that can change the shift of the thoughts of a lot of women and can heal a lot of things in a lot of women, because some of us have never heard that. Just like a lot of men have never heard an apology, a lot of us women have never heard that. Or it's been so long since we've heard that we don't feel appreciated, and that just makes us stand even stronger in how we are, because it builds a wall, so hearing those words, knowing that there are still men out there with hearts that beat and who appreciate us as women and actually want us to operate as we were intended to, um, very impactful, and so I always appreciate you and Justin when you come and you share, and listen, this is a space where we don't mind having the toxic conversations and getting down to, the bottom. Look, we need to, I try to start off nice, but, because we can't always start at after dark 8:30, but, truthfully, the only way we're going to get better is by having those toxic conversations, by getting to the root of calling the thing a thing, and it's okay that we have different perspectives, but let's get to the place where we can come to a common understanding so that we can find a resolve on how we can all move forward together, in a healthy way. So, I appreciate what everyone has said and shared so far. Come on, Miss Beautiful Juggling Nero. Amazing, brilliant mind that you are.
Thank you.
Look, call you Miss Straight Chaser.
I'm honestly still trying to gather my thoughts from certain things that was said, trying to piece it together in my head. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But I do appreciate you bringing these topics on here and having women speak on such an important month too. It's very, I appreciate it. It was good. Um, and I really hope that these conversations aren't just had and we're just saying words. I really hope that we truly take something from what is spoken on and actually apply it to our everyday lives. Because I've heard the stuff and I don't see the words matching the actions. So I guess my call to everyone listening and speaking is apply something that you've heard tonight to your actual life, and I don't want to just be having conversations to sound cute or just for conversating. We started here, but let's take it a step further. That is all I'm saying.
I love that, and I agree. And thank you for that. And this is why I appreciate, when you share, or stir the pot, as it's good. Listen, it's good when there's resistance, because that's how iron sharpens iron, and we get some of the rough edges off. You always bring a perspective that sometimes maybe was not thought of or not considered, or it's just that gut punch, and it's all necessary together. Change happens when through us having these conversations, and it may be small steps that are taken. I know I learn something each time. I take away stuff from each one of you, and it makes me think about myself and how I'm showing up. What am I doing? And just if I can start implementing one small thing, day by day, where in a sense it may not look like much, but eventually, it will show itself at its full maturity. But I'm grateful because you guys really are helping me to reframe my thoughts, and how I show up. Always going to be authentically me, but I love being able to hear other perspectives that make me think of something that I didn't think of before. And that's how I grow. Even if I don't agree. And that's why I always say we don't have to agree, but we have to respect, and your words, each one of you are so impactful, period. Because it really makes me, y'all don't know, my brain be working overtime when I'm finished in the presence of y'all. I'll be writing notes and I'm like, yeah. Even the hard things that we hear, the things that I may not want to, but that thing that keeps poking me is the one thing that's like, okay, that you got to work on it. You may not like it because it's painful. None of us want to feel like we're not being our best self or that we are not showing up. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to know that they're wrong, and so that kind of pride place gets hit. And that's usually where I have to start for me, for Dawn, and I'm like, I can receive that. Maybe hard pills to swallow, but I can receive it, but this is where change happens. And I'm just glad that you guys trust this space enough to come and to share. And I really, really thank you. And one day when I'm rich, like I'm going to put you all, like I'll be able to pay y'all all for what you do. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
I just want a Big Mac meal from
Okay.
McDonald's. Can we go lower?
Girl, I can get you that now. Okay, you got that.
That's all I want.
You got it, Lily. You got it. I got you. So I want to thank everybody for coming, for tuning in, for sharing. Listen, this is an amazing group of people, a dynamic family that I have found. I love y'all so much. You know me, it's one way in, no way out. We are stuck with each other for life. So listen, if we ever don't get along, we just got to work it out. That's it. That's all. I ain't going nowhere. But I want to thank y'all in this month of Women's History. That's what we're going to help each other grow. We're going to stretch and grow. So we've been off to a great start. Next week, don't miss it. It's the men's panel. The men are up. Men, y'all got the floor to yourselves. Wow, because I got questions. I still got questions.
One day we're gonna have the panel to ourselves, and these two men not gonna be up here.
We are gonna have the panel to ourselves. The last Thursday of this month is Girl Talk. It's nothing but us ladies, and ladies go wild. Okay, nothing is off limits. Nothing is off topic. It is just the ladies. So come prepared, ladies. We gonna keep it real in the field. But next week we're giving the floor to the men, and we're gonna make sure the juggling's question of what's a masculine woman from a man's view is gonna be asked and answered in there. So I hope y'all think about it. But make sure you tune in, bring a friend. We look forward to seeing you then. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Love you all. Have a great and an amazing night. And listen, follow my peoples over on the TikTok. Okay, go on over there and look everyone up. Follow them. I promise you, you will not regret it. And you will get more of this, even on a greater level, because they're awesome. I'm new here. I'm the new kid on the block. I'm still learning. So y'all have a great night, and we will see you next week. Love y'all.